This is the Energy Shift Show podcast, where we talk about spirituality and how to live your best life today. All it takes is a shift in perception. Hello, beautiful souls. Deb here, and I'm so excited you're joining me for today's show. As CEO of the Harmonic Sovereignty Studio, my goal with the podcast is to motivate you by sharing insights and also take you along as I speak to knowledgeable people that I have found inspiring to me throughout my years as an energy medicine practitioner and intuitive guide. I cover topics that I'm passionate about, all things under my 3 pillars of attune, anchor, and amplify. Attune into your energy and your inner wisdom to gain clarity on what truly matters for your passion in life and your well-being. Anchoring grounds your insights with practical tools and daily rituals that support sustainable, soul-aligned growth. And amplifying, well, that elevates your impact and vitality by expanding your energy, sharing your gift, and creating lasting change from a place of alignment. Now listen up for this exciting episode to begin. I will read the disclaimer. This podcast and the topics discussed stem from my own curiosity and desire to learn and should never be taken as direct medical advice. I am not a doctor, dietitian, nor any other medical professional. Please always consult your trusted provider regarding your health and your wellness. So, you tried the thing. Maybe it was a new program. Maybe it was a new offer, a new morning routine, a new strategy that promised to be the one that finally made everything click. Maybe you hit a goal, a real one you'd been working towards for months, and you felt it for maybe a day, maybe a week, and then that feeling came back. The gap, the ache, the sense of still not quite right. And if you're anything like the woman that I work with, your response to that was to work harder, do more, try something else, find the thing that finally fills it. And I need to tell you something today. With as much love as I have, that's not going to work. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because you're trying to fill a spiritual gap with material solutions. And it doesn't work. It was never going to work. Welcome back to the Energy Shift Show. I'm your host, Debbie Sodergren. And this is week 2 of our July series, The Calling. Last week, we talked about the longing that lives inside spiritually awake, high-achieving people. That persistent, quiet pull toward something truer, something more aligned. Today, we're going inside something harder. We're talking about why the things you're doing to fill that longing aren't working, and what's actually going on underneath. So let's go. The soul doesn't speak in metrics. Hear that again. The soul does not speak in metrics. It doesn't care about your revenue number. It doesn't care that what your Instagram numbers are, your follower count. It doesn't get impressed by your launch stats or your sold out program or your testimonials on your sales page. As proud as you are of those things, and rightfully so, your soul is operating on a completely different frequency than your strategy. Here's what I want you to understand. Your business, your outer life, your calendar, your offers, your income, your daily activities, all of that exists at what I think of as the level of form. It's visible, measurable, and real, and it matters. I'm not here to tell you that it doesn't. But underneath that level of form is something I call frequency, the actual energetic quality of how you're living, what you're moving toward, what you're moving away from, whether the life that you're building matches your soul or it doesn't. When those two things are aligned, when your outer form matches your inner frequency, you can feel it. Not necessarily as euphoria, but as a kind of rightness, a settledness, a sense of being in the right place, doing the right thing, even when it's hard. When you're not aligned, when the outer form is built on someone else's template for success, or on who you used to be and you're not that same person anymore, or on what you thought you were supposed to want, no amount of outer success closes that gap. This is why high achievers are often the most susceptible to this particular kind of suffering, because as you are exceptionally good at building your outer form, you can execute a strategy. You can hit goals. You can build something impressive. And so you keep building, you keep waiting for that moment when that inner feeling catches up with that outer result. It doesn't come, not through the path, that particular path. Because the outer result can never generate an inner frequency. It can only reflect one that's already there. So the question isn't, how do I build a better business? The question becomes, am I building a business on a frequency that's actually mine? Those are two entirely different questions. And most entrepreneurs are only ever asked the first one. Let me show you. I had a moment sitting at my kitchen table on a, let's say, Tuesday morning. I can't remember the day because it was a while ago. I've talked about this before, and I'll probably keep talking about it for the rest of my career, because it was the moment everything changed for me, not gradually, with a kind of sudden, quiet finality. I had a full calendar. I had clients I cared about. I had a business that I had built from genuine love and real effort. And it was from all the trainings I'd done from people that had showed me what building a profitable and successful business looked like. And I sat at the table and I couldn't move. Not wouldn't, I couldn't. My whole system had gone on strike and no amount of willpower was going to override it. And I remember the story that I told myself in that moment because it matters. I told myself, oh, I'm failing. I told myself that if I were really committed, I would find a way through this. I told myself that other people had harder circumstances and they were still pushing through. I told myself I just needed to push through, that the other side was right there if I could just hold on. I mean, as an entrepreneur, we've all heard it when we've been at a conference. You're so close. When things are really, really hard, that success is right there, but most people quit. That story almost buried me because none of it was true. I wasn't failing. I was finally, at the cellular level, refusing to keep performing a version of myself that didn't match my frequency anymore. My body, my energy system, my soul. They had been sending signals for months, maybe even years, and I had been too busy achieving to hear them. And to be honest with you, there's times that I get that spiritual nudge, I just don't listen. I try to logical it out. I try to make sense of it. That burnout, it wasn't the problem. The burnout was the message. And the message was, you have optimized everything except your alignment. You have built a beautiful outer structure on a frequency that isn't yours. And now the gap is too wide for you to keep crossing it. Whew. Here's what I've been doing. And I want you to hear this because it might be what you're doing too. Every time I felt the gap, the longing, the sense of something more, I responded by doing more, by adding more, by building more, as if I could outpace the feeling, as if I could achieve my way to alignment. I was trying to fill a spiritual need with material solutions. Strategy for a frequency problem. Output for an inner ache that had nothing to do with how much I was producing. The day I stopped, I truly stopped, was the day that I finally heard what had been waiting for me to get quiet enough to listen to. Not a voice, not a vision, just a knowing. Calm, clear, and surprisingly simple. This isn't your path. Your path is different, and you already know where it is. Wow. I had to go into a meditation on that one because when I did, I realized I did know. I've always known. I just had been too busy to follow it or too scared to recognize it. I created this new program because I needed it and I couldn't find it. Same way I had built my meditation course, my 4-week meditation course. For whatever reason, 4 weeks seems to work for me. That's the frequency that I'm in alignment with. But I needed someone to sit with me in the gap, not to fix it, not to give me another strategy, but to help me actually see my own frequency, to map where my energy was going and where it wasn't. I needed to look at where it wasn't being honored, to help me tell the truth about what was draining me and what was calling me forward. That is what this 4-week experience does. We do the energetic audit together, guided in real time. We look at your business through the lens of your actual energetic blueprint. We build a 90-day plan that works with your frequency, not against it. This is going to be a beta round. There are 10 spots to work with me directly. Let's noodle it out. Let's get you through it. Let's get you some results. Let's get you on a plan. A few of the spots have already been spoken for. So if you've been feeling the gap, if last week's episode or today's episode is hitting somewhere real, I don't want you to sit there for another month without a container for it. Write the word ready and I'll send you the link. Let's get you in. Next week, we're going somewhere that's a little tender. We're going to talk about what happens when you stop pretending you're fine, when the performance cracks, when the high achiever finally lets herself be honest about how tired she actually is. It's not collapse, I promise you. It's not collapse. It's an opening. But we'll get there. For now, I want to leave you with this. The fact that nothing is filling the gap is not evidence that something is wrong with you. It is evidence that you are looking in the wrong place. The solution to a frequency problem is not a better strategy. It's just not. It's alignment. It's listening. It's finally building on the frequency that's actually yours. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're simply being called somewhere truer. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If it resonated for you and you want to share it with a friend, I would truly appreciate that. Like the episode, leave me a comment, write the word ready, and let's get you going. So, until next time, bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed this episode and it aligned with your frequency and the goal of living your best life, you can connect with me at harmonicsovereignty.com or debbiesottergren.com. Check out my YouTube channel, Debbie Sodergren. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Harmonic Sovereignty Studio. I invite you to send me your questions or comments or just say hello on social media or email me at debbiesottergren@gmail.com. And remember, a shift in perception is sometimes all it takes for you